Have you ever woken up on a random Tuesday morning, stretched your arms out like a majestic soaring eagle, and immediately felt your lower back snap like a dry twig? Ouch! You probably stood there frozen in sheer terror, wondering why a supposedly peak biological machine feels like a broken folding chair. Well, grab an ice pack and sit down carefully, because today we are diving deep into the absolute comedy of human evolution. Believe it or not, your daily spinal agony isn't just bad luck. It's actually the result of a 7-million-year-old evolutionary design flaw. That's right, Mother Nature gave us a major software update, but completely forgot to upgrade our mechanical hardware. Oh boy. To understand why your lumbar spine hates you every single day, we have to travel all the way back to prehistoric African forests, where our distant ancestors were swinging happily from branch to branch. Back then, life was simple, snacks were abundant, and nobody ever spent hundreds of dollars on ergonomic office chairs. Our great-great-grandparents walked on all fours like modern chimpanzees, which meant their spine was horizontal and supported like a sturdy suspension bridge. When you walk on four limbs, gravity distributes weight evenly across four pillars, meaning zero stress on your lower back and zero chiropractor appointments. But around 7 million years ago, the global climate shifted dramatically, and those lush, comfortable African forests began to dry up and shrink. Suddenly, the cozy trees disappeared, leaving behind vast, endless savannas of tall grass. Now imagine trying to survive on all fours in grass that reaches your forehead. You couldn't see where the tasty fruit bushes were hidden, and more importantly, you couldn't see the giant hungry predators prowling nearby. Yikes! So our brave ancestors decided to do something completely crazy and radical. They stood straight up on their two hind legs. This magical transformation is what scientists call bipedalism, and at the time it was the absolute ultimate superpower. Standing up gave our ancestors an instant VIP lookout tower over the savanna grass, allowing them to spot stalking lions from a mile away and run for safety. But spotting predators wasn't the only perk of walking on 2 feet. Standing up also solved a massive survival problem called overheating. Whew! Think about it. Walking on all fours exposes your entire back to the brutal midday sun, turning your body into a walking solar panel baking in 40-degree heat. By standing upright, humans reduced their direct sun exposure by a staggering 60%. Plus, standing taller meant catching those refreshing cool breezes flowing above the hot ground. And let's not forget the biggest evolutionary jackpot of all time. Walking on 2 legs completely freed up our hands. Suddenly, our upper limbs were no longer used for boring locomotion on the dirt. They were now free tools ready to conquer the prehistoric world. With free hands, early humans could carry piles of wild berries back to their families, craft sharp stone tools to crack open stubborn protein-rich bones, and easily carry their heavy, squirming babies without slowing down. Furthermore, bipedal walking turned out to be super energy efficient over long distances. Human striding uses 75% less energy than chimpanzee knuckle walking. This meant early humans could walk for hours across scorching plains without collapsing from exhaustion. So, standing up gave us tools, brain growth, endurance, and global dominance. Everything sounds like a complete evolutionary victory story, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Hold on to your heating pads, folks. Because evolution is a messy tinkerer, not a perfectionist master engineer. When natural selection decided we needed to walk upright on 2 feet, it didn't trash the old quadruped blueprint and build a brand new spine from scratch. Instead, evolution just took our horizontal bridge of a spine and forcibly tipped it upright. Imagine taking a horizontal suspension bridge designed for cars, standing it straight up on one end like a skyscraper, and expecting it not to buckle under massive gravitational pressure. That straight-up vertical tilt created a biomechanical nightmare inside our human bodies. If our spine stayed straight like a rigid flagpole after standing upright, our heavy chest and head would constantly tip us forward onto our faces. Whoops!
To keep us balanced without falling over every 3 steps, evolution had to bend our backbone into a fancy double S-shaped curve. This iconic S-curve features an inward bend at the neck and lower back and an outward bend in the upper chest and hip regions. Now, this curved design acts like a natural spring shock absorber when we walk or jump, keeping our center of gravity perfectly balanced directly above our feet.
But here is the tragic catch that causes your lifelong suffering. Those deep spinal curves create extreme stress points that take a daily beating. In a 4-legged animal, the spinal vertebrae stack horizontally beside each other peacefully, but in a bipedal human, 24 vertebrae are stacked vertically, like a precarious tower of blocks. And right between every single one of those stacked bone vertebrae sits a delicate, jelly-filled spinal disc meant to cushion the friction. Every waking second that you stand, walk, or jog around, relentless gravity pushes down mercilessly on this vertical stack of bones. Those poor, hard-working jelly discs in your lower back get squeezed like water balloons. Over decades of walking and lifting, those discs begin to flatten, bulge, or even rupture. That is the dreaded herniated disc, and trust me, it feels like pure fire. Ouch! To make matters even worse for our poor structural engineering, human brains expanded dramatically over millions of evolutionary years. We ended up balancing a massive, heavy, 8-pound cranium right at the very top of our bendy spine. It's literally like trying to balance a bowling ball on a wet noodle. Meanwhile, down at the bottom of the structure, our pelvis underwent a massive overhaul. To allow bipedal walking without falling over sideways every step, our pelvis had to become shorter, wider, and bowl-shaped to hold our internal organs. But a wide pelvis created a massive geometric conflict with childbirth, because while human hip birth canals were getting narrower for efficient walking mechanics, newborn baby heads were simultaneously growing larger due to intelligence. This biological compromise is called the obstetrical dilemma by evolutionary anthropologists. To accommodate carrying pregnancies while standing on 2 feet, women evolved a significantly deeper curvature in their lower lumbar spine. This extra curve prevents pregnant mothers from toppling forward under the extra front weight, but it puts immense, constant pinching, shearing force directly on the lower vertebrae. So fundamentally, every single human being is born with a structurally compromised spine. We traded our sturdy 4-legged suspension bridge for 2 legs and a lifetime of lower back stiffness. And if prehistoric survival wasn't hard enough on our fragile, upright posture, just wait until you see what modern civilization did to our poor backs. Oh boy. For millions of years, our bodies evolved specifically for active, constant daily movement across landscapes. Early hunter-gatherers walked an average of 6 to 12 miles every single day. Constant walking keeps spinal discs lubricated, muscles strong, and blood pumping smoothly. But then, around 10,000 years ago, humans invented agriculture and settled down. And fast forward to the last century, we invented the ultimate spine destroyer, the modern office desk job and cushioned swivel chairs. Yikes! Today, the average human spends 8 to 15 hours every day sitting down completely still. We sit in cars during long morning commutes through heavy traffic. We sit at cubicle desks, staring intensely at glowing computer monitors. And then we collapse onto living room couches to binge-watch television all evening. Here's a shocking scientific fact about sitting that will blow your mind. Sitting hunched in a chair puts 40% more pressure on your lower spinal discs than standing up. When you sit slouched forward, your natural lumbar S-curve flattens out completely into a C shape. That unnatural slouch forces the fronts of your vertebrae together like a pair of nutcrackers, pushing the soft disc jelly directly backward against your sensitive spinal nerves. Add in our modern obsession with staring down at smartphones every 5 minutes, which creates a widespread modern epidemic known as tech neck. Tilting your head forward 60 degrees puts 60 pounds of dead pressure on your upper cervical spine. That's like carrying an 8-year-old child strapped directly to the back of your neck all day.
No wonder human beings spend over $100 billion a year on lower back pain treatments. We are literally paying the financial price for our ancestors' decision to stand up in tall grass. And let's look at the booming chiropractic and physical therapy industries thriving on our structural flaws. You walk into a clinic room, lie face down on a padded vinyl table, and pay someone handsome money to fold you like a fresh human pretzel. When that loud spinal popping sound echoes through the clinic room, crack! It sounds like a snapping wooden plank, but it brings instant momentary heaven. But scientifically, that pop is just gas bubbles releasing inside your spinal joint capsules. It feels amazing for a few days, but because our upright architecture remains fundamentally compromised, the stiffness always returns the moment we sit back down at our office desks. Interestingly, if you look across the entire animal kingdom on planet Earth, humans are the only mammal species that suffers from widespread chronic lower back pain. You never see a wild cheetah complaining about sciatica after sprinting across the plains, and you never see a grizzly bear booking an appointment for lumbar decompression. That is because quadrupeds kept the horizontal suspension bridge design that evolution actually perfected over hundreds of millions of years. We are alone in our bipedal suffering, all because our ancestors wanted to stand upright. But wait, could evolution eventually fix our bad backs in the far future? Could humans someday evolve super thick, indestructible spinal discs made of biological steel? Sadly, evolutionary biologists say the answer is probably a big resounding no. Come on. You see, natural selection only cares about whether organisms survive long enough to reproduce and raise kids. Since most severe chronic back pain strikes humans after their reproductive 30s and 40s, evolution considers our spine good enough and considers the job completely finished. Mother Nature basically gave us a 25-year factory warranty on our spinal column, and after that, we're completely on our own with heating pads and stretching routines.
So what can we humans do to survive in this imperfect evolutionary vessel? First off, we need to fight back against the tyrannical curse of chronic sitting. Health experts recommend standing up to walk around at least once every 30 minutes. Getting off your butt restores natural lumbar curves and lets fresh nutrient fluid soak into spinal discs. Ergonomic standing desks have become a lifesaver for office workers everywhere today. Second, strengthening your core abdominal muscles is the ultimate secret weapon for spinal support. Your abs and glute muscles act like a living, natural, internal weight belt. When your core muscles are strong and firm, they take the heavy lifting pressure directly off your vertebrae. And third, always remember the golden rule of lifting heavy cargo off the floor. Bend your knees and lift with your leg muscles. Never jerk upward with your lower back. If you try to lift a heavy box straight-legged like a bending crane, you are practically begging your spinal discs to pop out across the room. When we look back at the grand sweep of human evolutionary history, standing up on two legs was indisputably the best decision our ancestors ever made. Without bipedalism, we wouldn't have tools, art, science, space travel, or internet memes. We conquered the entire planet Earth simply because we dared to stand upright in the tall grass. But every biological superpower comes with an inescapable physical trade-off. For birds, flight costs immense energy and hollow, fragile bones. For cheetahs, extreme running speed requires a lightweight body that overheats rapidly after short bursts. And for human beings, our amazing intelligence and free hands came at the direct price of our lower back. It's a hilarious cosmic joke written directly into our DNA skeleton structure. We are intelligent geniuses capable of splitting atoms and exploring distant Mars, yet we can easily be completely defeated by picking up a dropped pen from the floor. Ouch! It truly puts human arrogance into perspective when your lumbar aches after sleeping funny. So the next time your lower spine complains during a long workday, don't just blame your office chair or your age, blame that adventurous prehistoric ancestor who looked at tall savanna grass 7 million years ago and decided to stand up on 2 feet forever. We owe them everything we have built in modern civilization, even if we have to pay them back with a lifetime of stretching routines and foam rollers. Let's do a quick fun recap of this wild evolutionary journey before we wrap up today. Step 1. African forests shrank into open grassy savannas 7 million years ago. Step 2. Early apes stood upright on 2 feet to see over tall weeds and escape predators. Step 3. Freeing our hands allowed tool making, carrying snacks, and massive brain expansion. Step 4. Evolution bent our horizontal animal spine upright into a precarious vertical S-curve tower. Step 5. Gravity plus modern sedentary desk jobs created universal lower back agony. Oh boy! It is an incredible biological saga full of triumphs, compromises, and chiropractic adjustments. If you enjoyed this deep, hilarious dive into why human backs are so wonderfully flawed, make sure to gently stretch your spine right now while you are watching. Stand up from your couch or desk chair, reach your arms up toward the ceiling, and give your hard-working lower lumbar vertebrae a well-deserved break from gravity. Your spinal discs work tirelessly for you 24 hours a day without stopping, so treat them with kindness, good posture, and plenty of daily movement. Also, smash that like button with your finger instead of lifting heavy weights improperly. Hit subscribe so you never miss another fun scientific breakdown of our crazy human bodies. Share this video with a friend or coworker who always complains about sore lower backs. Drop a comment below telling us your absolute weirdest back pain triggers. Did you hurt your spine sneezing loudly, or maybe just tying your shoelaces? Don't be shy, we have all been defeated by mundane chores at some point. Evolutionary science proves that you are definitely not alone in your spinal struggles. Remember to keep your core muscles strong, sit less, and walk upright with pride. Because even if standing up gave us back pain, it also gave us humanity itself. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us today. Stay curious, stay active, and keep questioning the incredible world around you. Take good care of your backbone because it is literally holding your life together. Until next time, keep striding forward like the bipedal evolutionary champion you are. See you all in the next video, guys. Bye-bye. And seriously, don't forget to fix your posture right now. Sit up straight, shoulders back, chin up, and breathe deep. You got this, evolutionary superstars. Over and out from your favorite science storyteller. Catch you on the flip side. Keep smiling through the stiffness. Remember, 2 legs good, back pain bad. Farewell, bipedal legends.